On today's video, I am going to be flipping a few things from this terrible hoard situation in my garage. Some of them I'm going to keep and some of them I'm going to be reselling, and they're going to be beautiful high-end makeovers, like a look for less that you would see from Pottery Barn or Kirkland's or even Ballard Designs. You are not going to believe how expensive these things turn out. I'm even taking you along with me for a quick Goodwill bins shopping trip for some of the items that I got and doing a furniture flip towards the end of the video. I hope you really enjoy these wonderful high-end flips, and let's go. Hey guys, so today we are going to be decorating in my entryway, and I recently picked up this table on sale at a local furniture store, and it looks perfect with the rest of the decor in my home. It's one of the few new things that we have, and I want to decorate it with completely thrifted items that I got recently or from a long time ago. Right now I am trying to empty out my garage in preparation for hurricane season here in Houston, Texas. So I am going to go through and get tons of projects done in this video and in many of the next videos to come. But for this project here, I'm going to decorate all of this using my thrifted items today, and it's going to end up looking so high-end and expensive, and I'm actually going to be doing it in the color scheme of black and gold and a little bit of a coppery bronze color. And you may be thinking, oh, I don't like decorating with black, or that's going to be too dark, or you may think it's just not your style, but give it a chance because this is going to turn out looking so high-end, I think, and you're going to want to recreate something similar in your home on a super tight budget. It's kind of a look for less, if you will. The last time that I went to some home decor stores to get a little bit of inspiration, I went to the At Home store and I also went to Kirkland's, and they had tons of this beautiful black home decor, but it was very expensive. Like just this dough bowl was $50. I know Kirkland's is more expensive than most other places like Hobby Lobby, but they always have the best, most high-end looking things, and they always decorate it so well in their stores. But I use this as great inspiration for doing decorations myself. They're not going to look identical because I'm not going to find the identical piece of this in Goodwill, like the same exact shape or whatever, but I can get the same vibe for sure. The first thing I'm going to do is clean the table using a little bit of some Old English wood conditioner. Now let's head to my garage and pick up the lamps that I just bought. I got these things for $9.99 a piece, and they just needed lampshades. I got the new lampshades for them at the At Home store, and they look so good with the lamps. So let's go pick them up, get those lampshades on, and then we'll start decorating. If you missed my last video, I showed you at the very end what my garage looks like right now, and it looks like a hoarder disaster, really. So we need to get this thing cleared out before hurricane season comes so that we can park our cars in there. I know a lot of people who live in Texas who get like really bad hail damage and stuff, so I just don't want that to happen to our cars, and we have insurance and everything, but I just don't want to have to deal with that. But all these things need to be either cleaned up, fixed up, or decorated in my home, or I can take them to my booth. But I have so much to do, and I'm definitely going to need your motivation to help me get it done. But here's those lamps that I'm picturing that would go perfect for this project for my entryway, and they were only $9.99 a piece. The lamps themselves and the shades are in really good condition. I'm just not a huge fan of the two different shades, and I also think that the shades it has are a little bit outdated. But this one right here I think has really good bones. It has a metal frame, and I think I'm going to use that on a future lamp project. But let's see, just get these new shades on here and actually make sure that the lamps work as well. Look at how good this looks. Woo. Here's a closer look at how they turned out. I think these look expensive, and I could picture them totally being from Pottery Barn. They have that look, that very high-end, expensive designer look now, just simply by changing the lampshades into something a little bit more modern. I think that this is going to look classic. I could decorate for any holiday with this up here. And also, that clock is from the Goodwill bins. So that is a huge score as well. And it probably was very expensive. But look at how great these look. Now we need to figure out something to do down here to cover these cords. So let's go back out to the garage. And I think I have some items that are going to look really good in here. And the first one I want to do is actually a painting. It's a bluebonnet painting that just needed a little makeover on the frame, and it turns out super beautiful. Let's go get that one. So here is the painting. It even has a little biography on the back about the artist, but the frame was a bit beat up. It needed a little bit of a refresh, and I wanted to give it a more modern look with still sticking with that classic design that it has. And here's that cute little biography about the artist. It was a Texas artist, and it says a little bit about where she lived, where she came from, and everything like that. I'll be sure to save that and keep it in the back of this painting for the entire time that I own it, and if I sell it, I will include that when I sell it, but very cute. The color that I'm going to go with on this frame is black. I believe the color is called Anchor, and it's by Dixie Belle. It's a paint from their Silk line, so it has a sealer in it. That way I don't have to do paint and sealer. I just paint it and it's done, and it has this really matte finish that I really like. I think it looks really good, especially in dark colors. And I just carefully went around the frame and painted all of the edges. I left the velvet, it's like a greenish gold color velvet on the inside. And then after I finish painting the frame, I'm going to go over it with a little bit of a rub and buff. And I do the rub and buff in the gold leaf color because if you look closely, there is still a gold frame around the painting on the inside of the frame. And I wanted to match that. And there's also tons of gold tones in the painting itself. And I feel like doing the frame in this darker color really brings out the tones in the painting. I feel like having the frame black really brings out like the branches and the shadows. And then the gold helps to highlight that inner frame that's gold, as well as the beautiful gold tones that are in the grass and in the clouds. It just looks absolutely perfect. I just remembered that I have the perfect stand to hold this painting for decorating with. So my painting is done, and I thought that this iron stand would be perfect for holding that painting because I'm going to be putting it down below here, not on a wall. This was only $3.99. So let's get the price tag off of here. And look at how high-end this thing looks. Look at the beautiful detail it has. It's going to look so expensive. Gosh, just look at how beautiful that looks. The gold and the black really pick up all the beautiful features in the painting. And yes, this is an original painting. This would have cost me a lot of money had I bought it already finished like this. I still need something else on this side, so I'm going to go see what I have in the garage that I could use to cover the plugs on this side that isn't as tall as the painting on that side. This was in my last video, and so many of you liked it how it was, but it was really scratched up, and I felt like up close it did kind of look dingy and a little bit outdated. So I'm gonna update it a little bit with still having that same feeling that it has here, which I think looks really amazing, very French and beautiful in general. But I'm using the same black color that I painted the last one with. And I'm doing that because I want this to be cohesive, and also when you do projects all together, in a vignette, or when you're doing several projects all in one day and you paint them all the same color, you get to use the same paintbrush over and over again. So it saves you time, it saves you money, and it makes the whole project look really cohesive and like it was sold as a set. Didn't this turn out so perfectly? And it's gonna look great in here to cover up those plugs and give this whole area this same theme of doing the black with the metallics. I even got this from the Goodwill bins, and it's gonna be great to hold it here. Okay, so I can still see quite a bit of the cord, and I'm gonna try and maybe tape it to the back side. I'm not really liking how this looks right here, so I'm gonna keep mixing things up. So, I'm already changing things. So instead of having that tray plate thing here, I'm gonna actually put this big candelabra lantern thing here. I got this from the Goodwill bins. Can you believe that? This amazing, beautiful thing. It was originally like a ridiculous amount of money. I don't remember, I took the price tag off. But you can see this in one of my past hauls. But I think this is gonna look really good. Ooh, there we go. I think this is gonna look really good right here, and it'll help to disguise those outlets. Now let's go back out there and find something else that we can do in black to go with this theme that's gonna look really good next to this tall lantern. You probably remember this candle holder from one of my other videos, but I'm painting it in that same black color, and I had asked you all if I should paint this middle section to be a matte black like the top and the bottom, or leave it as is, and most of you agreed that we should paint the middle part in a matte black, and I agree with that as well, and boy, it sure turns out so pretty, so thanks for that suggestion. Wow, this turned out so gorgeous. The detail just really shines now, and it looks super high-end. I have this really cute candle I got a long time ago from Joann's. Hold on. Take that part off. There we go. So I'm gonna put this candle on here. Look at how great they look together. And then this will go here. Let's play around with this a little bit. Oof, ow, my knees. Ugh. Now let's try decorating with this on the top of the table now. I just love how this fleur-de-lis thing looks on here. Everything is coming together so perfectly. It's honestly better than I even pictured in my head. I love it when this happens. I do feel like something needs to go down here. So I have this black orb that I got from the Goodwill bins a while ago. And then on the top here, I feel like we're missing something on the top as well. So I'm thinking something needs to go on either side of this fleur-de-lis. I'm gonna have to brainstorm. I think we need something on either side here that matches, like some kind of topiary. And I remembered that when my mom and I went to the Goodwill bins recently, I found a topiary vase with a big topiary in it, and then she found another exact vase of that same topiary when we were both shopping in separate ends of the store. And then we came at the end to meet up and show each other what we got, and we ended up both getting one piece of each of this set of topiaries, which is so funny. So I was hoping I would find the second one and I couldn't find it, and she found it and it was perfect. And I think that those with a little bit of a makeover would look really good here in this vignette. We also picked up a whole bunch of other stuff while we were there, so I'm going to show you a really quick shopping trip of what I got from that trip with my mom to the Goodwill bins, and I mean really quick, but I did get some really neat stuff. I got a lot of really great books that I have already put into my booth, most of them, and I also got some cute little folk art things. You may have already seen it in my garage. My sister took this hose reel already, and then here is where you see how I found these topiaries in the Goodwill bins. I found one without the vase, and then this one had that little vase on the bottom. I also found some other cute books and some antique books from the 1930s. Super amazing stuff today. I even got a record that's Creedence Clearwater Revival, which I can't wait to listen to. Haven't listened to it yet. And then this is my mom's cart. She found this birdhouse, which my sister took, and then the frame, and then there is that little base to my topiaries. And in order to get everything to all match, I'm going to paint those bases in a black. I have seen on Ballard Designs and Serena and Lily, like so many different high-end, really expensive designer websites, that they have all of these beautiful black pots on their greenery, especially like boxwoods and things like that. And so I'm going to do that look. I mean, these weren't ugly or anything. I actually like how they look, but it wasn't going to go with the look that I was going for. So I'm going to just paint them this regular all black, nothing extra. And sometimes when you do that, that really can update it and make it look a little more upscale. Sometimes making something more simple actually makes it look fancier. Does that sound funny? But it is true. Look at how beautiful and expensive they now look. They now look like something that I could have bought from Ballard Designs, but I spent hardly anything on it. Let's take a look back over everything. So this is from the Goodwill bins. I do have to replace the clock mechanism because that part doesn't work, but that's easy enough. This set of lamps was $9.99 each, and then the shades were $12.99, and those were from Goodwill. This I got from Goodwill as well. The stand is from the Goodwill bins. These each are from the Goodwill bins. Down here, I have this metal orb from the Goodwill bins. This was from Goodwill. The stand also from Goodwill. This was from Goodwill, and this was from the Goodwill bins. Nothing on here is new except this candle and the table itself. Everything was bought on a budget. Even the table was on sale when I bought it, and this looks stunning. I can't believe how great it turned out. And I can't believe how much I liked it decorating with all black items. Usually I feel like it's too dark and not as happy and cheerful, but to me this looks so good for a all year round decorating or a summer decorating. It looks really traditional and has a little bit of a French flair to it. And it's very Texas down here with the blue bonnets painting. But I really think that everything looks super expensive. It looks like I spent a fortune to decorate this. Like I just went shopping at Kirkland's and I didn't. I got it all secondhand, which is way more fun. How exciting. Now that I have finished this entire vignette, it's time for me to go out there and find one more piece to recreate using the same scheme that I'm actually going to put in my booth. So I want to show you this amazing piece of furniture that I got for free from one of my amazing viewers who donated a whole bunch of amazing items from her in-laws' estate. And you're going to flip when you see how great this is going to turn out. I think that doing it in black to match this theme that I'm doing is going to be amazing for this table. So let's get started on that. Here we are going back into my messy, horrible garage. You can see some of the things that I got from the Goodwill bins with my mom's trip. Those will either be up in my shop online or in person pretty soon. Some of the stuff I am keeping though, like these two clocks that are right here. I think I'm definitely going to keep those. This is all stuff that came from that estate that was donated to me by one of my lovely viewers and her family. And I appreciate it so much, and I hope she knows that I will treasure the items that I keep and that people will get to treasure the items that they purchase from my booth as well. But let's get started on this table. So this gorgeous little side table has seen a lot of life, and it has scratches and marks and damage here and there from living a full life, which I think is great. It's telling a story of all the things that it has seen and done. But I want to modernize this a little bit, and I want to show you all that you can take pieces that are like this that may not match your style and make it look like current high-end home decor that is still classic. I'm not trying to do anything super trendy with how I'm making over this table, and I was really inspired by just regular classic design that were from like some of these more high-end stores. Some people may laugh and say like, oh, Kirkland's isn't high-end if you're super wealthy, but I'm not super wealthy, so to me this is a lot of money. Like spending over $100 on a very small side table, that's a lot of money to spend on something small. So you don't have to do that, but you can get inspired by these. On the surface of this table, there was a lot of buildup of years of polishing the table, which means that it was well cared for, and that is a totally normal thing that you will see when fixing up older furniture. If people regularly use Pledge or furniture polish, it will have a buildup of oil on there. So it's important to use a degreaser to get that all off before you paint. And also you could probably tell when I was cleaning it that it did have a bit of a wobble to it. And this was not due to anything being broken on there, and I would have had to have taken it fully apart and re-glued it back together. But instead of doing that, I have a hack to share with you. I'm using Starbond super glue, and it is just my favorite super glue that I love very much. I've been using it for a lot of years now. But what I'm doing is I'm using their bottle with the little small nozzle on there to squeeze super glue into all of the little cracks and crevices on all of the joints. This is a really easy way to get rid of a wobble in a table without having to do any type of work. So that super glue is going to sink down into the cracks where the wood has shrunk a little bit and fill those gaps, and the table will stop wobbling. This is something anybody can do. You can also do it with wood glue, but super glue just dries much faster, and I'll link this super glue down below in the description box if you're interested in trying it. And the next thing I have to do is do a light sanding just to scuff the surface and better prepare it for paint. I am using a chalk paint product, but it has a sealer in it already, so it does not adhere as well as using regular chalk paint that has to be sealed afterwards. So The one I'm using is this same Silk brand, which is, they say it's all in one, but I definitely don't think that it's a super durable way to paint by not sanding first. So I think if you want it to be more durable, you need to scuff sand a slick surface before you're going to paint on it, even with chalk paint. Unless you're going for a more rustic look and you don't care if there's distressing on there, or you prefer it to have distressing, then don't even worry about doing all the prep work. But for this, I'm selling it. I want it to be durable, and I wanted to make sure the paint was going to stick, especially since it's going to be displayed in my shop. So I want to make sure that when people are touching it, moving it, setting things on it, sliding things across it, that it's not going to have any issues with the paint chipping or coming off. And I also always paint my pieces upside down first and then right side up, and I make sure to paint all the surfaces that you would see. And here's something that I think to myself as far as like, what should I paint on the underneath side or not? If somebody is buying this and they pick it up to put it in their car and they happen to flip it upside down, if it looks bad underneath how you painted it, like if it looks just messy or unfinished when they flip it upside down, they may have this sudden feeling of, oh, this is maybe not as good quality as I thought it was, or it kind of cheapens it to the buyer. And so when you're doing pieces like this that you know are going to be flipped upside down, or people will see the backside of it when they purchase it to load it in their car, just make sure that everything that they see is also finished as much as possible. I don't do the backs of china hutches or things like that, because that's never going to be seen really once they, like, they'll see it when they load it up, but in their own homes it'll never be seen. But a table like this, things like this could get seen. I don't know, it just makes it look like you spent more time on it. It's a higher quality thing that you did, and it makes it worth a little more money. I'm not asking $1 million for this though. It is up for sale in my booth for $39.95, in case you are wondering how I price things. But we'll see how it goes. I just put it in there today, and I am going to show you how it looks in my booth. And I'm curious to know, do you want to see more videos of my booth? So not like an entire video dedicated to my booth, but like, would you want to see video footage of a tour of my booth more often than what I'm currently doing? If so, just let me know in the comments, because I feel that some people are interested in that and some people are not that interested in that. So I'm curious to know what the ratio is there. If you are interested in seeing my booth more often, or if you would rather not, it doesn't really matter to you, just let me know. Thank you for letting me know that stuff. It really helps me out. And I just want to say that I really appreciate the way that all of my viewers comment in such a nice and respectful and encouraging way. Even those of you who are commenting saying, you know, what you did today was not really my style, I would have done this or that. I'm totally okay with those comments, and I love them. So thank you for leaving them in a nice and respectful way and being just kind, amazing people. I have the best community here ever of any channel, in my opinion, although I am biased. Now I'm going to put on a stencil. This stencil I bought a long time ago from probably Hobby Lobby, and I'm doing an antiqued white color. It has like a little bit of a yellowy pinky tone to this antique white, and I'm just using a little bouncy brush that's made, it's like a sponge that's made for doing stencils, and I am making sure to dab off my paint before I start stenciling, so that way it doesn't have any bleed through underneath the stencil. This stencil is so perfect for this table. Look at this. Oh my goodness. But I did mess up a little bit right there in the corner, so I had to touch that up. Not a big deal, not the end of the world. And if you are worried about doing things like this because you're afraid you're going to mess it up, just stop worrying about that right now, because we all mess up and you can always fix it. So just try it out and see what happens. You really have nothing to be afraid of. The clear coat that I'm using is Gator Hide by Dixie Belle. It's just a very strong clear coat, and I applied it with a sponge. But here's how it looks all finished. Wow. That color is stunning to me. It's the perfect like matte finish. I only did the clear coat on the top of the table because that's the part that needs to be the most durable. And I also wanted to seal in my stencil as well. The rest I didn't put a clear coat on because I loved that matte sheen that it has, and my paint already has a sealer in it. I apologize for the weird lighting. This is in my booth, which doesn't have perfect lighting. It has kind of mood lighting, if you will. But man, I hope this baby sells real quick. I think it will. I just have a feeling because little small tables do tend to sell really well. I feel like everybody's always looking for a little table. Even me, sometimes I'm like, man, I really need a little side table for this or that. And so I think this will be exactly what somebody's looking for, or they'll see it and be like, I didn't even know I was looking for that. But now let's look back at what I started with when I was decorating. In the beginning of this video, I had a really dusty, dirty table that we had sitting and waiting to be decorated in my entryway, and I had a really big, beautiful clock that I got from the Goodwill bins months ago for dirt cheap, and we ended up decorating it to the nines. It looks so amazing. I really blew myself away on this one today. I think this is my favorite vignette I've created in probably years. I never knew that I was going to love decorating with black as much as I do because I am such a bright and colorful or white decorator, but decorating with these darker tones and these metallics really it's moody but not like depressing. It's moody in the best way, and it still puts me in a good mood seeing this. It looks expensive, it looks high end, it looks quality. It looks like I spent a bunch of money on this, honestly, but let me know what you think of how this turned out in the comment section down below. Also, can you please tell me which of these was your favorite? All of this feedback that you guys give me in the comment section helps me make better videos for you. And so I can make things that appeal to you when you let me know what you liked and didn't like out of the video. So don't be afraid to leave comments. And also, if you love talking with me or with my viewers, then please consider joining in on the live chats when we premiere our videos. So I always have a live chat involved with my video premiering. So as soon as it comes out, we all get on there and we talk for a good 30 minutes or however long the video is, and we have a great time together and make such good friendships. So I'll see you on the next one. We post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. See you next time. Bye.